Tom, we've got G, we've got Dizzy, Ram, and we've got Mike as well. Welcome back to the show and panel, everybody. KJ, I'm going to go to you first. Humbled and embarrassed Old Trafford again by Liverpool. Talk to me, mate.
First of all, I want to blame United Trey for being at the game and existing. There's one. Two, I want to blame you, Terry, because Terry George kicked in again. You said 2-1 Man United and chatting all that chat. And then 3, I want to say, Ineos, you've had a great summer. I think you've done everything perfectly fine. The only mistake you've ever made right now is keeping Everton HAG. I was open for him to stay because you know what, if the football decision makings are making him stay, so let me see where it's gonna go. But maybe we're gonna try and change the way that we play with him there. The changes are very minimal. The changes are so focused on not conceding that we don't score, and when we try to score, it's so focused on scoring that we end up conceding. Like there's no balance in the way that we play. There's no structure from build up from the back of the defense to the forward line. There's no structure that works. And this manager wants this to happen. This manager is picking these players. Rashford's confidence is so low that he doesn't even want to do the thing that he's good at, which is beating men with his pace. His confidence is on the floor. His form's on the floor, but yet this manager continues to pick him out of what? Protect the player. You're not protecting him or putting him out there. Protect the player. You've got Ahmad, who's actually showing form. You got Ahmad, who's actually showing desire to play for the club. And you're dropping him. Garnacho, same thing. You don't start him for 2 games. You're still picking Casemiro, who we all know. Doesn't matter what diet plan he's on, no matter how thin he comes in, looking all trim and that. It don't matter. This guy is going to cost us again and again and again, and he's done so today. He's washed. He's gone past the best. He's past his best, way past it, and yet he's still being picked. You know what? I don't care that Collier is not as good as him. I don't care that Collier will make mistakes. But I'd rather see Collier come on and play football for Man United, who will try, who will learn, who will try and get better, than a guy who, let's be honest, he's already won it all. Why does he need to get better? Why does he need to improve? Because clearly his personal pride is not kicking in, because what he's trying to do on the football pitch today, horrendous. Overall, we were not good enough. The passing was awful. The attack was awful. And for me, as an individual Man United fan, I can only speak for myself. I would love Ineos to say, you know what? I don't care that we gave him a contract extension like 2 months ago. He's going tonight. I would love that. Give it Rude for the rest of the season or however long it takes to find a manager that you truly believe in to take over this team. But yeah, it's not looking good, guys. And I placed Man United 7th in the table for a reason. This is why. And if it continues on, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Hello, Phil. It's good to have you back on the show again, mate. After the summer.
Thanks for having us, mate.
Where are you at personally with Manchester United right now? Because there's a lot of excitement over the course of the summer. Good transfers made. Loads of good plans for the club at large. New stadiums, new training facilities. But to see that type of performance again, where are you at with the manager, and how do you think we improve on things?
I think for me, I disagree with some of the comments that KJ made. I mean, I know he's been ETH out for quite a while now. I mean, at the end of the day, the managers there, the players are there. What I have been saying for the last few games and for part of last season is Casemiro's finished. He is, and that's no disrespect because he's had a quality career. But at the end of the day, he can't keep up with the Premier League. And putting him up against Liverpool, he wasn't at fault for the actual game goals against Brighton. But he was a big part of the build, and I thought he can't be starting against Liverpool. I knew Ten Hag would, but I didn't. I knew he shouldn't be. I knew he would cost us today, and he definitely has. And I think until those moments, I actually was quite impressed with the way the game started. If you think in the first 2 minutes, we looked like we're going to score 2 goals in the first 2 minutes, but that's so long ago now. That's completely forgotten. We started off the game really well, and we surprised Liverpool. I think that's the first statement, and I don't think anyone could deny that. We looked, and then obviously the Diaz goal came, which Trent goal came, which was against the run of play. I know it was ruled out, but at the end of the day, it felt it was against the run of play. I felt we had a good start. With regards to Ten Hag, for me, at the end of the day, you can't just throw a manager out when you've just got the players in that you want to start working. Until we get, we've come up against, you mentioned it before, Terry, they're a well-oiled machine, Liverpool. At the moment, United are coming in with new players who are learning to play in a system which they're trying to build a new system. They're trying to get a settle back four already. We're seeing changes where we've not got a settle back four yet because of injuries or working the way into the team through fitness and things. I actually thought Delete had a really good game today, apart from that one mistake where he was getting a bit tired towards the end and slid in. He looked a lot sharper. He made some great blocks, and you can see why he's going to be a massive benefit to the team. Mazraoui was looking a bit tired, but Mazraoui and Dalot getting a bit too high up the pitch, and Liverpool saw that every time, play the ball over the top, and straight away you had 4-on-2, the Liverpool. So they had great opportunities to score against us. Our poor decision making, we were going through at times 4-on-2, something like that, and all we saw was the likes of Rashford, as KJ has already said, his head is, whether it's his mind or his belief or his confidence, whatever it is, something's completely gone. Whereas in the past, he'd have took it round him. There was a couple of moments in the 90 minutes, but nowhere near enough in the whole game. And he was playing it back, and he ended up back at Martinez, who again I don't think is at his best at the moment either. He's looking in the last couple of games, but I think for Rashford, I think for the next game, and I know it's after the international break and that, but I think we need to be seeing Ahmad and Garnacho starting with potentially Ugarte and Mainu, because Bruno's not on form at all either. He's lost it. We've got some big characters that KJ has mentioned, not by name, but just saying some big characters, and they're just not performing, and that's what you really need to step up when you're at home against Liverpool. I could say a lot more, but there's a big panel, so
no. Listen, I get where you're coming from, and you are right. Like the first, up until their first goal that stood, I was happy with most elements of Man United, other than our final ball in the attack, and we were stopping their attacks. So there was good individual one-on-one defending. They weren't creating chances. They like gilt edge chances, and we had the ball in really good positions. And there was one that stood out to me where Bruno has the ball, Rashford's running through on the left. It's a simple ball, and he doesn't make it. Every time the ball came to Xerxes on our attacks today, it was bouncing off of him like a tennis ball hitting a concrete wall. Yeah. And that's all I was really frustrated with until the Casemiro mistake. My problem then was between that moment and about the 65th to 70th minute, we just completely and utterly lost our way. And that for me is more worrying than the individual mistakes. We are trying to play differently this year. That's actually why the 3 mistakes we made happened in the game, because we're trying to play out from the back more. And this is why a lot of us were angry at Ten Hag for not starting his style of play 2 years ago, because by now it would be so well integrated into the team that you wouldn't be seeing these mistakes. You know, you've seen Chelsea's players make these kind of mistakes early on under Maresca. I remember Arsenal making these mistakes in the early years of Arteta. And I think for me, that element I can forgive. But it's then it was then the lack of confidence and the way we collapsed for a large period after that. And if Liverpool were a little bit more professional, because what Szoboszlai not scoring was crazy what he tried to do, and if Salah wouldn't have blazed it over the bar, it could have ended up being 4 or 5 before we sorted things out. And I'm going to be honest, and this is not, I think Liverpool are a really good team that are in a title race, but they weren't amazing today until we started making mistakes and we collapsed. It wasn't as though, if you go back to last season, from minute 1 until we scored that goal from the halfway line, which was like 45 minutes, they tore through us limb from limb. It wasn't like that until the mistakes. And I'm not taking anything away from Liverpool. I've said it, phenomenal team. You're in the title race. Excellent players. Slot has come in, and I think his adaptations have been excellent. But I wasn't sitting there watching it going, oh, you know, we're getting battered here. We're hanging on by the sort of skin of our teeth, until Cass made those mistakes. And then for about 20, 30 minutes, it was like last season again. And that for me is the worry that will keep happening, because we'll have bad moments, because all teams have them. But I don't know if these players with this manager have the ability to recover. I just don't know if it's there. And that for me is more concerning than anything else that I saw. Or even more than dropping Ahmad, it's that mental fragility that really fucking concerns me about this team. And it's a worry. We're meant to have worked on that over the summer, but it still looks painfully raw, in my opinion.